discuss the second part of this query language today from this here. You have three relations. Author has two attributes, login and name. Documents, URL and title, and wrote, login and URL. Login and URL. So find all authors who wrote at least 10 documents. You want to find authors who wrote at least 10 documents. So how do you write that one? Condition at least 10 documents. In this case, you will have to write, and especially I explained in the previous classes. This is the if you have to use the multiple tables, multiple relations, you better to use like this. Author A wrote. You can represent this value, this letter from the wrote, from this letter from the author. Select author, find author, select A dot name, author dot name. From you have to use these two. Author A wrote W, where author login, A dot author login equals wrote W dot login, and group by, you have to group A dot login and A dot name, A dot login and W dot name, A dot login and A dot name. You have to group by from this, and having count, you have to count the wrote more than at least 10 documents. You have to count the documents. W dot URL, from this URL you can get the count URL, and greater than 10. Here you can get, if you from this command you can get the count. For an example, if this one gets 30 is greater than or equals 10, then you can get the names. If this 5, what would happen? Less than or equals, you cannot get the output, because this condition must satisfy. This condition must satisfy. So when you see this one, you can see, you can get the authors who have written more than 10 documents. Okay. Then we have to understand the nested queries. We can nest the query within the queries, something like this: the inner query and the outer query. So when you consider, I will write here from this, and inside this one you can have a certain query, and first the output is given to the main query. Output is given to the main query. First of all, execute this inner query. Inner query also has select from where we can use, and output is given to the outer query, and you can get the, finally you can get the output. So operators here you can see get operators as in, not in, all, or else some or any, and where we can use operator from this: equals, less than or equals, greater than or equals, not equals, greater than or less than or greater than. We'll see some examples in the next queries. Consider the following table. This is employee table: employee ID, last name, position, salary, and department ID. You can have the relation having 4 attributes. cardinality is 4. Then you can see that you can have the data. So let's see who has a salary greater than Abel's. Go to this one. Abel is here. You want to get the salary, you want to get the employees whose salary is greater than Abel's salary, that is 6,000, greater than 6,000. That means you can get the these two employees who are king and coach. One is a director and other one is a manager. So let's try to understand using the nested query. How do you write? First of all, whose salary greater than Abel's salary? Then first we have to write the query to get the Abel's salary. That means select salary from employees where L name, last name equals Abel. So then you can get the Abel's salary as here. Here is the what is the Abel's salary? Abel's salary will be given, the output is given to the main query to calculate. So first of all, the inner query will be executed, not the outer query. Inner query will be executed first, and the output is given to the main query. Here, select from table where condition we can use. This is called the inner query and this is called the outer query. Subquery syntax. The subquery, inner query, execute once before the main query. As I told you, it will execute before the main query. The result of the subquery is used by the main query. The result is used, something like that. Here you can see, as I told you, select salary from employees where last name equals Abel. What is the salary? Salary is 6,000. The 6,000 is given to this one, the main query. Main query is greater than. No. So select last name from employees where the salary is greater than and the output of this one, that is 6,000. So you have to understand clearly when you are writing the nested query. The nested query has to be written within in the brackets. So you can see here, open bracket, select salary from employees where last name equals Abel. Abel, you have to give the quotation mark and close the salary and put the semicolon. In that case, this query execute first and give the output to the main query and 6,000 and execute the main query, and you can get like this. Output you can get like this. Okay. Here actually there is a only ask the last name, but it has given the employee ID, last name, position, salary and department. Actually better to have the asterisk here. So guideline for using the subqueries, you have to understand the order of executing of these subqueries. Enclose the subqueries in parentheses. That is a must. Here you can open bracket, write the query and close the bracket. Place the subqueries on right side of the composition condition. Here you have to place it in the right side. Here you can see in the right side, not the left side. Third one is use single row operator with single row subqueries and use multiple row operator with multiple row subqueries. Then you can here see, here in this case, you can the output is only one value, that is called the single row. Sometimes we can have the output has multiple rows also, and that's why it says use single row operator with single row subqueries and use multiple row operator with multiple row subqueries. I will explain this example later. Here single row subqueries return only one value. Multiple row subquery returns multiple rows or multiple values. Here are the operators and meaning return only one row and use single row comparison operator. We can use, if we have the only one row, we can use this operators: equals, greater than, no equals, less than, no equals, and not equal. These are the single row subquery operators. Let's see this example, the previous example once again, and display the employees whose position is same as the employee number, employee ID 141. 141 is the clerk whose position is same as the employee 141. Display employees. And first of all, we in inner query we have to get the position of employee 101. Select position from employees where employee ID equals 101. Employee ID is 141. So we can get the position as a clerk. It will give to this one. Then display employees whose position is same as employee 41. Then we want to get the employees whose position also the clerks, that is select last name, position and salary from employees, only last name, position and salary, only these three columns or the attributes want to be displayed from employee where position equals the clerk, because here you can get that one. And you can get like this. Only you can get the mention columns here. Next one. Display employees whose position is same as that of employee 141 and whose salary is greater than that of employee 131. The salary is greater than this one and position is equals to this one, same as this one. This part must be written first. There are two queries, that is select the position, we know that, and salary. Select salary from employees where employee ID is this one, that is 2600. Salary is greater than this one and employee clerk. In such case you can get only these two. You can see only these two. Salary is greater than this one and position is clerk. Likewise, we can use any number of inner queries to get our result, get our required outcome. Next one, using aggregate functions in subqueries. Let's try to understand how to use the aggregate functions in the subquery. Display the employee's last name, that is position, and the salary of all employees whose salary is equal to the minimum salary, whose salary is equal to the minimum salary. So the minimum salary is there. Here select min salary from employees. The minimum salary is 2500 and select last name, these three from employees where salary is this one. Are there any? You can get only one. Here 2500 only Vargas cell. Satisfy this condition only this person 144 employee now. so that we can use the aggregate functions, min, max, average, likewise. Then having clause. We'll see how to use the having clause with the subqueries. Display all the departments that have a minimum salary greater than the minimum salary of department number 2. So first of all, you have to get the minimum salary of department number 2. Department number 2 has there is one manager who has 7,500, 5,800, 2,500. Minimum salary greater than the minimum salary of department 2. Department 2 minimum salary is 2,500. And first of all, we have to do this one. Select minimum salary from employees where department ID is 2, that is 2,500. And here display all the departments that have the minimum salary is greater than. Then having the minimum salary greater than this minimum salary, select department ID and min salary. Department ID and min salary, minimum salary, department ID and min salary from employees, group by department ID. Group by department ID. So you can see minimum salary is department 1, 10,000, 6,000, 3,100 and 2,600. Actually 3,100. This must be 3,100. 2,600 is department 1. The minimum salary of this one is 2,600. And get the minimum salary of the department 3. 3 has only 5,900. 5,900 and another one, not another one. So the minimum salary is department 3,500 is not there. Actually there we have a output has a mistake. So display all the departments that have minimum salary greater than the minimum salary of department 2. The department 2 minimum salary is 2,500. So the other departments minimum salary is department 3 5,900, then department 1 2,600. Department 1 2,600. Okay, this is understand the minimum salary greater than this one. So select the minimum salary of these departments and see whether it is greater than this one. Next one, will this statement return rows? You can see when you write the queries but the data is not available in the table, you can't get the rows. For an example, display employees and position whose similar to the position of employee hers. Employee hers. The name employee's name is HAAS, hers. But when you go through this last name, you can't find the hers name. But let's try to write the query. Select the position from employees where last name is hers. And select last name position from employees where position equals this hers position. But we can't find the name here, so that we cannot get anyone. No subquery, no value. But instead of this hers, if we write Rajas, in this case, select position from employees where last name is Rajas. Rajas position is clerk. And you can find another three, Davis, Matos and XXX. In that query has the output. Let's see next one. Multiple row subqueries. Still we discuss the single row subqueries. Single row subqueries actually from this statement you can get only the single value or the single row, but there may have multiple row subqueries. That means return more than one row and use multiple rows comparison operators. See all these rows whether it is satisfied or not. Those are the operators in the multiple row subqueries in any and all. In any and all. In means equal to the any number of that list. Equal to any number of the list. Any means compare values to each value returned by the subquery. Subquery returns value and compare. And all means compare values to every value returned by the subquery. If the subquery returns more than one value, compare with each one. For an example, salary has distinct salary. When we get the 10,000, likewise we can have some variations. If we want to compare all these one for one's salary, in that time we have to compare the multiple rows. Here, display the employees whose salary is less than the salary of all employees with the position of manager and whose position is not manager. First of all, what we have to do? We have to write the query. Understand this one. Display the employees whose salary is less than the salary whose salary is less than the salary of all employees with the position of managers. So you have to get the salary of the managers, 7,500, 6,000 and 5,800. The managers' salaries are these. And whose position is not manager? So you have to get the employees who are not managers, and salary is actually not salary is less than of all employees with the position of managers whose salary is not equal. Position is not managers. Let's see. So we have to select the employees who are not managers, and the salary of that managers must be less than the one of these managers' salary. That is, we have to compare these three salary steps: 7,500, 6,000 and 5,800. So we can write the query like this. First of all, the inner query is select salary from employees where position is managers. In such case, you can see select salary from employees where position is managers. You can get these salaries, 7,500 and 6,000, and you can get these three salaries. And next actually select employee ID, last name, position and salary. These are the employee ID, last name, position, salary from employees table where the salary of these employees less than all. That means you have to compare this with these three values, 7,500, 6,000 and 5,800, and position is not equals managers. In that time, you can see only we can get the clerk salaries less than one of these salary. Davis salary also same, mentors and works salary. Only the director salary is greater than the manager's salary, and the position also not equals managers. Only you can get this one. Let's see how it can. Less than, actually less than means less than, not greater than. In such case, the greater than value has this one, less than is these three. Only these clerks. 5,900 is greater than 5,800. So you can't get that. Only you can get these three. Because all, compare all these values. That's why you can get like this. So next we try to understand, display employees whose salary is less than the salary of any, not all, any, less than salary of any employees with the position of manager and whose position is not manager. Same as this, you can see the any instead of all. The compare any number of this one and give the output. So in that case you can get 5,900. 5,900 also you can get, because even though the any value, no, any salary 7,500, if you get, if the salary, if it gets the 7,500, 7,500 is greater than 5,900. So that's why you can have this one. The next query, display the employees who have subordinates. Display the employees who have subordinate. If there are any subordinates for the employees, you can get using this query. Select manage mgr.manager ID. This is the database manager, and manager ID from employees mgr. The employees database is mgr. So the condition is this one: select employee last name from employee emp, where emp.employee ID in the manager's table. But when you write this one, no rows selected, because no output in that table. So we can't find any output of that table. That's why we cannot get. Here we don't have such subordinate column. So then from this lecture we try to understand the nested queries and functions. In this lesson you should have learned how to identify the subquery, can help to resolve the questions, and write subqueries when a query based on unknown values. So basically I discuss these two in this lecture. So that's all.